today it's about bricks, about porcelain, which is used to build most of our house in Italy, but also in the rest of Europe. Over 20,000 just looked to my last video, 150, about a €1 emergency blanket to bounce over 90% of the solar light away from our windows or other objects like our body. But what if I told you that we can do something even more spectacular? What if we could paint our homes with a material that doesn't just reflect heat like the mylar blanket, but dumps its own calories into the freezing void of deep space? Yes, I found a direct connection with the universe between the wavelength of 8 and 13 micrometers. Today we are talking about 3 solutions, the most spectacular of which is the sub-ambient radiative cooling paint. And the good news is all the 3 solutions are very affordable for DIY, do it yourself. So let's start. I'm Norbert, I'm energy engineer, and in this video 151, which is a kind of follow-up on the last video of 150, we will talk about not windows or mylar or complete reflection, but something which is more useful for the walls, of which many of our houses are made. You know what's the difference between a window and a brick wall? Is that the brick wall, it's storing the solar energy the whole day, and eventually part of it will go through the brick to the inside of that brick where we are sleeping, and it will make our nights sleepless. So at some point in the night, many hours, the temperature inside may be higher than the cool air outside. So with a standard insulation like the porcelain bricks, you can delay this transfer of heat to the inside of the house, but you cannot stop it. And therefore I decided also, after reading many comments which rightfully stated that the main problem is not so the windows, but more the stone walls of the house. And it's true, so I decided to present 3 solutions, one rather standard solution and then 2 solutions that are very different from each other, but mostly very expensive. But I can show how to make it less expensive by doing DIY, do it yourself. So I will talk about these 3 solutions, and the first one is number 3. We will start with that because I can imagine that it's so fascinating. It is a kind of radiating brick, which even in the case that the sun is directly hitting this with its energy, is sending out so much energy that it cools down below ambient temperature. So that means there's a kind of balance from incoming energy, and that is already not so high because it's also reflective, like the first 2 kinds, but it is also using the heat which is already inside. It puts it in a kind of radiation wavelength which is going through the whole atmosphere into the deep space in a very easy way, because all this atmosphere, this thick atmosphere for many kilometers, it's transparent to the wavelength between 8 and 13 micrometers. Then it will go to the space where the temperature is at minus 273. So it's a huge difference of temperature. It will be pretty easy to drain, to dump this heat. So that's very special. Okay, now that your biggest curiosity is more or less satisfied, I hope, we can go to the second and first solution quickly, because I think you want also to see the experiments, and that will be the next week, because the special materials which I want to mix into paint, they have still to arrive. I can only say I can try. And I just see what I can do with the mixers that I know that are available on the market. And next week we will see if we can be satisfied with the results. And then it's up to you if you say, okay, I want to try it also. Okay, so we go back to the second material. That is that one that is white. It is reflective, so it sends much of the solar energy, it sends it back. But the non-reflected part, that's going into the brick. So the second solution is that you want to make a better insulation of that, and that with these microspheres of glass, which are 1/20 millimeter. So that's so thick as a hair. And then inside it is hollow, it is a good insulator. So that means much of the light is reflected, and the rest will not go beyond the barrier of these hollow glass spheres. So that's the second solution. And then the first solution, it's just the white paint, which you can find at a good price on the market. It's a white paint, so that means it's it works on the reflection. But okay, it's a white paint and it's already better than just this red brick, or with the normal standard colors which you see. For example, here also on the back side, this is this orange color, which is the color of the whole house, and that's of course much worse than the white paint. And then you have also on the roof, you have these tiles which are red, they are not reflective. So all of these three solutions are better than what is standard in our building code. So as said, next week I am building this matrix. It is these bricks, and I will have 4 cases. One normal case with just the brick only, without paint, and then 3 other cases with these 3 kinds of paint. And we will see what we will get. If you want and you are curious about the physics of these DIY possibilities, then grab the guide which is in the description, and then you can see all the details about it, and then you can also solve your doubts. Subscribe now so you won't miss this unique experiment that will allow you to make your house more resistant in these incredible heat waves which we have this year. Sometimes in history it happened and then it was quickly forgotten, but now it's really every year and we have to do something with our houses. So I hope that you will subscribe, that you will like the video, and you will share it with the people that really need it, which are suffering in their houses. And if you didn't see still video 150, now click here at the end of that video. So stay cool. I'll see you in the next video, and I wish you good energy.